So I'm reviewing this Sona replay, and I actually played in this game. I played Sona, but I'm going to be reviewing from Sona's point of view, and analyzing what went wrong, basically, and voting for them. Okay, so you don't have the Explorer award. That's not a good idea. You should definitely be taking that mastery. It's not important to go farther down utility necessarily than that award, but you definitely want to be getting the Explorer award so that you have the extra award. Because you want to be able to take doubles level 1, and you put the award over here to make sure that they're not invading from blue, and then also make sure that there's no level 2 gank from the jungler. And on top of that, or like, I guess if you're not doing that, then you can use the Explorer award in one of the side bushes, because the lane is probably going to push in one direction or the other, so it's very unlikely that you're actually going to want to have a green ward. So like initially you put a green ward in this bush, it's very unlikely that you're actually going to want to keep the green ward in that bush for very long, because the lane is either going to push towards you or towards them, and either way you want to get rid of, or sorry, either way you want the ward there temporarily. Alright, sorry about that. I wanted to make sure it was actually working. Yeah, so we ended up invading through red this way, and actually, so I guess you don't have vision of Ezreal. If he hadn't shown, we probably would have gotten a kill there. But that's just, like, it's pretty dangerous to be standing there with absolutely no vision, or it can be. Like, I like to put a ward down here no later than about 125. So if you had put that ward there, then you wouldn't have gotten caught by Ezreal. Like, you would have taken some damage from Ezreal, but I guess it probably wouldn't have been that much worse. But you would at least have vision of us when we were coming, and then maybe your team could have come down and helped. And now you guys see us coming in lane from your red. It's very clear that we took your red, so you should be telling Ramus that he should go directly to our red. If he's not going to do that himself anyway. Yeah, against Leona, you're going to want to start with the pink ward, because I can just start with the pink ward, right, and then I have pink ward this bush, I'm going to be able to take control of it. And right now you guys should be soft pushing, you should be attacking creeps. Like, that's probably was an accidental auto attack, but you guys should be attacking creeps constantly, because you don't want Leona to be able to go on you when you hit level 2. Like, if Leona can go on you, that's pretty much GG. Like, you're really low right now, you just took a lot of damage. So, like, yeah, I guess you could have exhausted Ezreal there, and probably been able to live. It wouldn't have gone well for you, but you'd been able to live. But also, like, the flask opening is, and you should be getting a pink ward if you have the money for it. Yeah, 202. Like, you definitely want to be able to get a pink ward against Leona. And against Leona in particular, you're already gonna out-sustain them. Like, just because you have your W, you're going to be able to out-sustain her because she has absolutely no heal. So buying a flask isn't actually really worth it for an opening item. Instead, I'd suggest going cloth armor or no magic mantle, either one of those. No magic obviously costs more, but so much of Leona's damage is physical. And get a Q, don't exhaust Leona. Like, that wasn't going to be a kill anyway, and then you could have done more damage. You could have done more damage to me if you just Q'd. And say the exhaust for Ezreal, if they turn, like, you probably could have gotten actually a significant amount of damage off with Vayne auto tumble, auto condemn. Like, that's, she has, okay, well, she didn't have her silver books, but it's still gonna be a lot more damage. You're already into that Q, but that's not the end of the world. But yeah, like, now would be a good time to put a pink ward right there. And yeah, okay, so, like, you guys saw Swain coming. That really wasn't the best time to ward. but there's not really anything you could have done about dying there since you did go up to ward, but like definitely don't go up to ward when you see the mid lane coming down, especially someone like Sona with CC of their own. And if your flash had been up, you might have been able to, like, you would have been able to juke his snare with your flash. Yeah, Vayne. So this actually could have been a kill on Vayne if Ezreal had E'd, if he'd used like the, because he had enough mana for a single E. If he'd E'd and then auto attacked enough, he would have gotten more procs off. I would probably would have gotten a kill on him. So like Vayne should not have been staying in lane like that. You should stay in XP range. And since you guys are losing lane like really hard, well, okay, so first of all, you could have gotten a cloth armor when you came back to lane. Like, that would not have been a bad idea because you're really taking a lot of damage and you don't want to be taking so much damage. Ideally, you would get a red crystal first, but since you couldn't afford that, just get the cloth armor. But you guys are going to need a lot of help from Rammus, and Rammus is a really good ganking jungler. So, fortunately, like, he should be able to give you a lot of help. He should be able to give you a lot of help. But if you don't provide him with pink wards, he's not going to be able to do that. So you should have bought a cloth armor and a pink ward when you were back, and then put the pink ward in that bush so that Rammus can come gank that way. And that's going to, like, if we push up, that's going to mean that Rammus can gank. If we don't push up, if we're scared of that, so we don't push up, that is going to mean that we're not able to push up, which we would ideally like to be able to do. Yeah, and I'm just, like, buying pink wards because I already know that we've established lane control, and I wanted to continue holding on to that. So that's something that's a good thing to do. Like, if you had started out at the beginning and you were winning really hard, then you would want to be pink warding the side bushes like that and sitting there. That wasn't really a good time to leave lane because at that point in time, like, first of all, mid was occupied. Like, stuff was going on in mid is what I'm saying. So there wasn't that much danger of the mid laner coming down, and you weren't in a position where having vision from that place was really going to mean that much. So you should have been there to help Vayne. But on the other hand, Vayne shouldn't have been so far up when you weren't in lane. Like, when to ward, when you're really far behind, basically you want to just let them push to your tower all day. And right now, with 620 gold, you actually, after Vayne died, you should have gone back to base and bought a red crystal. And then that red crystal would allow you to be a lot tankier, so that you're a lot less likely to die over and over again. Because right now, like, Ezreal and Leona can basically just one-shot you because you don't have enough HP. So, since you didn't get the cloth armor earlier, it means that you now have enough gold for the red crystal. And then you can get a lot tankier. You're still not going to be able to play aggressive at all, but at this point the game is definitely not over. Like, Vayne is very much like game carry, so just get that red crystal, be able to survive the lane, and you'll be able to do a lot better. And you really do need pink wards. Like, the other thing is that you know that I put a pink ward in that bush, like you saw me put it. So when you had the time to go back, because you didn't get a single piece of experience or CS when you were in lane alone without Vayne, so there is no reason for you to be not in base buying. So you could have bought a red crystal and pink ward, or even two pink wards, so you could have pink ward this bush and pink ward tribe. Like, even if you're behind, the support who buys more pink wards has a massive advantage over the support who doesn't. Yeah, I guess you knew it was pink warded, but if you didn't time it, it's sort of whatever. But you guys can't really be in lane. You should just go back and take doubles. Like, if Vayne walking up like this, that was really silly of her. She should have known she couldn't take us, like, at all. You guys should have just gone back to take doubles at this point. Since the lane is pushing away from you, like, there's actually nothing you can do. So yeah, you should, let's see, let me go back a sec. Okay, so you exhausted Swain late. There should have been a much earlier exhaust on him, and you might have actually been able to kill him, because actually what happened there was that Swain didn't wait for level 6 for me to hit level 6, and that was actually a really bad engage on our part. if you exhausted him early, he wouldn't have been able to kill as much, and you probably would have gotten the kill off on him. And then just like when you're fighting, if the enemy is CC'd and you're killing them, you should keep your QR persistent and just try to get a Q card. Yeah, okay, when you're losing lane this hard, don't take your E at all. At level 4, don't take your E, just go QW, because you just want the better stats in order to be able to survive as much as possible. But since you did have the E, it would have been appropriate in that engage when Swain Tower Dope to use an E only to queue up your power cord, because the extra power cord damage is really a lot, even if you're on level 4. It adds a lot of damage that you can do, so just use an E, try to get a Q card off on someone. Like, if you can try to get a W card, if it's at the beginning of a long time fight. If you're waiting for a Philosopher's Stone, that's like, yeah, no, that was not the correct thing to do at all. You need a tank. Like, the Cloud Armor is good. Instead of the Philo Stone, you should have gotten a Red Crystal, and you don't have any wards on you. You basically never want to go to lane without wards. But in particular, when you're really far behind, it can seem tempting to go GP10. And if you're really far behind and you're fighting a lane without kill potential, for example, if you're really far behind a Graves Soraka, for example, that's not likely to be able to kill you. So then it's okay to go GP10 because you really want to be getting the extra gold so that late game you're not quite so far behind the enemy support who's like snowballing off like a couple early kills or something. But with okay, so that like Vayne doesn't need the cure to last hit. She really shouldn't need the cure to last hit. So don't like W and then turn your Q back on. That's just a waste of mana. But as I was saying before, like Leona Ezreal has a massive amount of kill potential. So you really want to be able to survive that, and the way to do that is not to build GP10, it's just to build tank. If you have a Red Crystal, maybe they can't one-shot you anymore, and then you're gonna be able to actually have like some amount of lane presence. Like right now, if they wanted to kill you, like they could just kill you. But since you aren't doing anything in lane right now, just don't stay bot lane anymore. Just like go to another lane, go mid or go top or something and gank. Yeah, so that's what happens when you don't have any wards. It's also what happens when your carry insists on staying way far forward when they probably shouldn't. Yeah, like at this point, the game is pretty much over. But again, since all of your lanes are losing, or like at least, I guess top's doing okay, but mid isn't doing that well, so you guys staying bot isn't really accomplishing anything. So just don't be bot anymore. Like, definitely you can win games by giving up a losing lane and going to gank somewhere else. Even though you're a carry support, and generally carry support doesn't gank, you can absolutely gank with, like, anyone can gank. Like, they don't know you're in the bush, and then suddenly there's an extra damage source. So that allows your other lanes to play a lot more aggressive. Even if you like don't get a kill out of it, it can allow your lanes to play more aggressive. It can allow your top lane to start zoning the enemy top lane, or your mid lane to start zoning the enemy mid lane, or maybe even convert a kill if they can bait hard enough. But basically, if you're losing ball lane really hard, just don't stay in lane. I guess is the point. At this point, you really need level 5. When you are like standing out of creep range, there's no reason for Vayne to not go and take double golems. Like, Rammus isn't taking double golems anyway, and most junglers are not going to be taking doubles. So you should just go back, and that's like the massive advantage that blue side has, is that they can go back and take double golems. Purple side can go back and take wolves, but that's a lot farther to walk than double golems is. And also a lot of junglers actually do want to take wolves, whereas very few junglers actually want to take doubles. So the double golems are actually a huge advantage for volleying on blue side. At this point, I would be really concerned that I don't have my red warded or race warded, because someone can walk this way. So if Mordekaiser wards Wraith, that's fine. If Mordekaiser's not warding Wraith, then you should have a ward at red if you're going to be that far out. But again, there's no reason to be that far out. You should just take double golems. Like, double golems are right here, and that's free experience, free free gold that you guys could be taking that you're not taking. And I guess now you're gonna take it, but like you